guys, welcome to Classroom Chronicles, which is a podcast run by me, Aditi Kanade,
And I'm Isabella Bai. So, Classroom Chronicles is essentially a podcast that goes over just average high school life and then kind of the short stories and memories we have associated with each class.
This first season is called Subjectively Speaking, which is where we dive into each subject and talk about stories relating to each one. And this is our first episode featuring Mr. Arul, our favorite chemistry link teacher, and Sahiru, one of our classmates. So, Mr. Arul teaches Chem Linked, which is pretty hard if you don't know. It's kind of a difficult class, but
So linked chem in our school essentially is like this. You stuff all of chemistry into 1 year and then you throw it at sophomores because you feel like they can handle it. It's a challenging class, however we have such a great teacher, Mr. Arul, right? And then so he's able to provide a lot of like small stories that connects to his own personal life and then also the chem subjects that we're learning about. So when we think back to them and we're trying to remember what we're doing, we can think back to these stories and it just makes it really easier for us to think.
Yeah, so chemistry linked compared to your semester-long chemistry honors or just semester-long AP class is very different because, like Isabella said, you're putting together in one whole entire school year honors in one semester and then AP Chem in the next semester, and so they're getting the full menu, if you will, of chemistry in just one school year as opposed to breaking it up into chunks. And so I feel it's important that I try to relate the contents in which we cover in class to my own personal stories. One, just to kind of break up the monotony of just thinking chem all day long, but also at the same time, being able to see it in a different way, and also a way for me to kind of open up myself to my students and for them to get to know me a little bit. And in one particular unit, we were talking about chemical reactions, and we went through all of the different types of chemical reactions, which I'm sure some of you are probably familiar with some. One in particular, decomposition. And what teenager doesn't like to eat, right? I was no different when I was in high school as well. Despite my relatively short and small stature, I could eat a lot. And I've always been asked, where does all of that food go? And people say, well, you're just like a bottomless pit. You just eat, but like, where's all that food go? And I never really thought about it at that time, but when I think back to those questions, I'm like, yeah, where did all that food go? And then I realized, my body just had a very high metabolism rate, which means my body's ability to break down or decompose that food, it could do so in a relatively short amount of time. So my body's ability to efficiently and effectively decompose, which is one of our reaction types, decomposition, was able to do that with food quite well in a relatively short amount of time. And this was most beneficial to me in particular because I played high school football, and on the varsity squad, one of the benefits was the coaches would take you out to, as a team, to get a pre-game meal is what we called it. And I never thought about it, but now that I think about it, I never really understood why they took us out to get a pre-game meal, a buffet much less, the day of the game. And we would go at maybe like, 4:30 maybe after school, and then our game would kick off at 7 o'clock. And that's no more than 2.5 hours time to allow all that food to digest and break down before you're ready for your game. And I think back, like, that is not enough time. And certainly not enough time for a person whose metabolism rate isn't fast enough or who can't break down food fast enough. But luckily for me, I was able to consume so much because it was a buffet. And in that short amount of time and all that food I consumed, my body was able to quickly metabolize and break down that food so that when it came down to game time, I wasn't feeling like 1,000,000 pounds with all that food I ate. Maybe I felt like 500 pounds extra, but certainly not 1,000,000 pounds because I didn't decompose all that food, but I was able to break down much of it so that I was feeling a little heavy, but not like I was weighted down so much that I couldn't, carry on with the game. And so I think if I were to go back to the high school football player, Mr. Rule version of myself, I would go back and say, hey, coach, I don't think this is a good idea to take us out to a pregame meal the day of, 2.5, 3 hours before the game. Maybe a whole day before to allow our bodies to, metabolize it all and catch up, but also to store all of that energy and that food calorie so we'd be able to use it the next day, because our bodies won't be able to quickly convert that food energy into stored energy in just that short amount of time, maybe to break down the food, but not to store it and to use it. So if I could go back to high school football all over again, I think that's one thing I would, share with my coaches, knowing what I know now with chemistry, and maybe perhaps, we'd as a team play more effectively and we'd perform better, and maybe we'd win, more games than that we actually did win. And so I think that's one of my fondest memories of high school is being part of the team, but also, now that I look back, there was so much chemistry related to it. And so that's kind of the things I like to share in class with you guys, are those kind of personal stories that in the beginning maybe don't make any sense. Like, where's he going with this story? But then when we tie in the actual chemistry content, it kind of reveals, oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense. And then, I think from your side as a student, you remember the story more than you remember the content of chemistry, but then because you remember the story, you inadvertently remember the content, and you marry those two together. And I think that's, one of my strategies I like to implement to help you guys to better understand the information.
It certainly does help.
Yeah. Yeah.
So another athletic adventure of yours was when you had that skiing trip, right?
Yeah.
Would you like to talk about how that connects to chemistry?
Well, let's fast forward this a few years from my high school days. So this was when I entered, I think my first or second year of college. And I and a couple of my friends, we went on a skiing trip to visit a friend at a college out in the western part of North Carolina, App State. And we knew that we were gonna go to one of the ski resorts and do a little bit of skiing and snowboarding. And me being the type that likes challenge, I wanted to snowboard. And this was, I think, my only second time ever snowboarding. So I, by far, had not mastered any bit on snowboarding. But my brain chemistry told me, okay, you can do this, right? Like they say, you are what you eat, or you are what you think, so think positively. So that was me. I thought I could do it, just by watching people do it. I was like, oh, that seems easy enough. Like, how hard can this really be? And so that was just, the neurons and electrons firing away in my brain telling me, hey, you can do it mentally. So then that mental thought translated into my body physically thinking, oh, let's do it, And so on this trip, second time ever snowboarding, we were going up the ski lift to go to the top. And I saw from below there was this terrain park, and there was people, like board sliding on logs and, jumping off ramps. I was like, oh, that looks fun. That looks hard, but I think I can do it.
Oh.
So now I think it's easy.
I think that's the same thing kids think when they join Link.
Yeah, they come and think it's easy, and then it's like, whoa, wait a minute. It's a whole new game here.
That's their brain chemistry.
Yeah. And so when we finally got to the top, I kind of like slowly, for the most part, slid down on my butt because I couldn't go straight very far without falling. I didn't know how to turn effectively, much less know how to stop. Again, this is my second time ever, right? But I thought I could do it, so why not? And so we eventually got down to this terrain park where this one ramp was. And so a friend of mine that we were with, he lined me up at the top so that I would just go. Once he released me, kinetic energy would just take over and my board would just go, and I just had to stay straight, right? And not deviate from going straight at this ramp. And so my whole thought was, okay, just stay straight until I hit the ramp. but I never thought it through as to, okay, what do I do after I get to the ramp and after I actually jump off the ramp? And that's when I freaked out. That's when I kicked in midair that, wait a minute, I can't do this. And so I freaked out, and so my body turned, which shifted my weight, which threw me off balance, right? And so now to counteract that, I was flailing my arms to catch my balance, and at that time it was too late. My board tilted back too far, so my body weight was too far, so I was falling backwards. And when I hit the ground, my board hit the bottom edge, and my body hit the ground almost at the same time, and it completely knocked me out cold. I think I was out for like what I felt like was an eternity, but according to my friends, it was like maybe a minute or two. And this is all recorded on video that at the end of the semester I'll share with you guys, so you know what I'm talking about. But you can see my lifeless body just slide down once I hit the ground, and you see this group of people just kind of huddled around me like, what do we do with this guy? Like, this is some stranger. Like, we want to help him, but like, what do we do? Like, he's completely out. But the ski patrol eventually came, and I finally came to. And I don't remember anything at the moment in which I hit the ground. I only remember the moment right before and when I came to, but I have no recollection at the moment in which I hit the ground. Like, I was just completely out. And then from that day on, my brain chemistry is a little bit more cautious. When I see people doing things that I haven't had much experience with or haven't done much, and I'm like, okay, maybe I should give it a couple more tries, warm up to it, feel more confident and comfortable with it, instead of just telling my brain, hey, you can do it, so go do it. Which I think as a high school teenager that translates well. You guys sometimes impulsively make decisions that, if you think through it, that you probably wouldn't have made to begin with. And that was me too. But you live and you learn. So certainly there's a lot of chemistry going on in my brain there that translated over to my body, right? I told myself I thought I could do it, so my brain told my body to go do it, and then you get humbled when it's that situation where you get knocked out, right? So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for all the stories, and we'll now segue into the second half of our episode.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And guys, don't worry. While we're introducing our new member and having our new guest speaker talk about his stories, Mr. Arul will also be on the side listening, and sometimes he'll be commentating when we share his unique
Experiences from chem class,
which were totally intellectual choices.
Very much so. So we'll be back at during the second half of lunch after the bell rings. We'll see you then.
So if you guys don't know who our editor is, it's Brandon. He's right behind.
Come up here.
Yeah,
there we go.
there he is.
Brandon.
Oh, get in the camera. Am I also not?
Come here. Sit down.
You should sit down.
Sit down for a
You
second.
go
Sit down.
Okay, so in the beginning of the semester, if you guys don't know,
Well, for a little context.
oh my, wait, you should know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Of course, he
yes.
is. So, for a little context, Brandon here, he has like at least 5 packs of gum in his bag at all times for some reason.
He's got cinnamon, he's got lemon raspberry thingy, he's got the regular boring mint.
He's never once shared me that gum. So,
Brandon, do better.
Brandon, come on.
yeah,
No,
Brandon,
but
where's my gum?
he has Greek gum. He has all kinds and varieties of gum. So, knowing this, he shares this gum with everybody.
But Mr.
And-
Rule.
But Mr. Roll, you really need to get on
Yeah,
that. But he gives everyone gum, including with his mouth.
Yeah, that was a fun story. Okay, if you guys don't know, we have a website. On our website, we have a blog. We have a blog post written by Brandon himself about the incident. Okay.
So, they were first chewing gum. Three guys. One of them will not be named. One was Brandon, and one was Sahiru, and he'll come back later in the episode. But so Brandon and Sahiru decided to share gum, but
like as logical
human beings would do, but with their mouths.
Yeah.
So like Lady and the Tramp
Yeah,
style.
just like play it in reverse though.
Yeah. They did that, and so Brandon and Sahiru were enjoying, right? And then Sahiru decided to do it with the unnamed individual, and Brandon here is not very happy about that. Yet to this day, he's still a little.
If you guys don't know, he's actually glaring at Sahiru right now.
Yeah. He he did not like that experience because Sahiru was basically cheating on him.
I
Which
know,
is
heartbroken.
heartbreaking. You should go read his blog. It has a lot more detail about the incident, but yeah.
Brandon, do you have any words you want to say to Sahiru?
Yeah. Tonight, 8 p.m. These subtle things.
Anyway, connecting this back to chemistry, Brandon is like the central ion, giving out electrons to all the ions
poor
around.
folk.
Yeah.
Wow.
In ionic bonds, you know? So I guess him and Sahiru had an ionic bond, but
I don't know what
But
happened to
on the
him.
activity series, you know, in chemical reactions, if you're not high enough on the activity series, you can't replace the other element, right? I guess the unnamed individual was just higher than on the activity series than Brandon.
So therefore, he was able to replace Brandon in the bond they had.
Yes.
And Sahiru here is denying it, but we all know what happened.
Yeah, we all know.
I was just lower than you.
Like, you know,
Some
get
kinda-
down on one knee, propose.
Whiny.
Confront him, maybe.
Let's
You
get
might
you on
wanna-
camera.
Is this the confrontation finally happening?
Let's see here.
You can do that on your own time.
If you guys didn't know, while we were recording Mr. Arul's half, these two were
In the back doing some things.
doing some unique things.
What?
Yeah, that's if you saw us laughing, when
It was because of those.
it was probably because of them.
Yeah.
Or a rule's like lifeless body part, you know? Yeah.
Lifeless body
No,
part?
because he got a concussion or something.
Oh, yeah.
The
Yeah,
head
that part,
trauma,
yeah,
the head
yeah.
trauma part. That's why
Guys,
we were
don't
laughing.
get head trauma.
don't
Don't get head trauma. Okay?
don't think that you can do these
Yeah.
things, okay?
I know everyone says, you know, fake it till you make it, but sometimes it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Same thing with linked chem. Just because you think you can do it doesn't mean you can.
Yeah.
Here's the proof. Perfect example. What did you get on the unit 2 test?
Brandon,
Pound 48.
Brandon,
Proud 48.
Brandon, how'd you do on the last test?
On the last test, yeah. 5B.
Proud 70. Okay.
Are you sure?
Better than a 48.
Another 48, guys. Progress, okay?
Progress.
Baby steps, baby steps.
Yes.
Maybe one day Brandon will.
Get a B in
Yeah.
the class? Probably. Let's hope.
Yeah.
And
I'm out
Bye,
of here.
Brandon.
There's
Oh,
the bell.
he leaves so eagerly.
Introducing our second guest speaker, Sahiru Naranpanawe. There he is. Okay, so we have so many stories with you from chem, but what is one?
Where shall we start? Start with
How about
How about an introduction of yourself?
Yes.
Actually?
an introduction.
Yeah. Who are you?
Who am I? I'm first of all I'm Sri Lankan, not Indian, right? Huh?
Brandon's
Brandon's-
signaling something. To,
Brandon's? I think he's professing his love.
I think yeah. You want to come on camera and do it?
Yeah, I'm a chem linked student. I'm currently fallen under victim of the class. So yeah.
What this? Okay, how about we start off with the first story being the bromethylene blue, bromomethylene. What is it?
Bromothiamine.
Bromothiamine
Keep
blue.
messing up.
Sorry.
Bromomethylene.
Bromothiamine blue story.
Yeah. So we have a bunch of labs in chemistry, right?
A
And
lot.
then I think that lab was.
So
Lots
that
of
was
them.
with single and double replacement reactions,
Yes.
and so basically we had a bunch of different chemical reactions that we did, but this one in particular was in a beaker, and we put in the chemicals, and one of which was the
Bromothiamine.
Yeah.
It was mixed with the ashes of the magnesium.
Oh yeah. So it was mixed in with distilled
And
water
then,
and
and
yeah.
distilled water.
and so basically to mix the two, we had to use a straw and blow into the beaker.
Yeah.
And then what
And
was
he was
supposed-
selected to do
I was
this.
the selected.
Honorable selected, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's supposed to happen?
Because I'm just
Yeah.
like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's supposed to happen is that the mixture is supposed to turn from blue to yellow, and you know, it's chemicals, right? You're not supposed to do anything weird. It's chemicals.
Or,
Okay,
you know, drink
I did
them.
everything.
Yeah?
I did everything like perfect.
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
correctly. I was blowing the bubbles in the mixture solution,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
And then my lab partners around me were talking about not chemistry, all this stuff. And then while I was blowing the bubbles like a good lab
Conductor?
person, scientist.
Oh, science.
Actually, yeah, scientist, right? Then they were like joking around and stuff, not focusing on what was at hand, and they made like this funny joke or whatever, and I started to laugh, right? So then when you laugh, you like suck in, inhale. So my mouth was currently being connected to the
Connected.
straw in the mixture, and
You inhale, but you inhale.
I think you could infer what happened. So and then I ended up spitting it out immediately after, and I like stumbled across the room
room.
in dismay. I was like, what just happened? Like,
I think some of us did kind of tell him to drink it while he was doing it.
Some of us,
Yeah,
not
I
us.
agree.
Not us, obviously. I
Are you
think,
sure?
I think,
Are
I
you
think
sure?
it's that guy right there.
Yeah.
yeah,
How did it
he
feel?
was trying to get back at me.
How did it feel to
Drink that toxic chemical.
Well, it's kind of like I just drank chemicals. I'm this like big figure, you know.
Yeah.
I drank actual chemical, and I survived.
Wow.
Well, another lab that we did,
Oh.
which was so fun. We were using a magnesium strip and hydrochloric acid, which is
Yo,
one of the strongest acid,
Yeah.
right? And while we were doing this experiment, we were supposed to jam in a stopper on the graduated cylinder.
Maybe not jam, but
Press
Yeah.
press
Seal away. Or
seal,
Mhm.
correctly seal the graduated cylinder, right? And
So here-
he did this and
Chosen once
chosen again
more. Yeah.
once more. Well, maybe not chosen. I like volunteered myself.
Are we seeing where the story might go?
yeah.
Okay.
So I did not eat the rubber stopper.
Yeah, thank God.
So I was pressing the rubber stopper into the beaker.
The graduated cylinder.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah.
So I pressed a bit too hard, and yeah, it broke.
He
It
broke
just-
the cylinder, which was so great. It went to the glass grave. Yeah.
Great.
It
The grave full
It
of-
went to the grave full of broken glass, and that was such a
Yeah.
fun lab. And then that was the first trial we were supposed to do, and the second two trials we did, both of them failed.
I don't know how they keep messing up. See, my
Yeah,
group,
we
my
had
group, we figured it out.
after like
That's
spilling the
nice.
whole
Yeah, we spilled it.
spilled acid.
They got acid burns.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
Brandon
Yeah,
over
Brandon-
here
His pants turned purple from like
no,
gray,
pink.
Yeah, exactly.
Turned pink.
There was a chemical reaction on his pants because
Yeah.
they turned a different color.
Yeah.
See the instructions? We didn't actually read the second part of the instructions.
You
It
should
says-
read the instructions if you do this
Yeah.
lab.
That's
yeah.
advice. Like before doing a lab. make
Read all the
read
instructions.
Yeah.
Yeah, read the instructions.
Essentially, we burned like one of our lab members' fingers because the reaction that happens, it generates heat, and you know if like it's a hot chemical and you're like stopping it with your finger, then the chemical falls onto your finger and it burns your finger. And there's
Yep.
like a red circle right there. Fun stuff. Fun
Yeah,
stuff.
don't play with acid. Drink the distilled water.
This is
Um,
distilled
Open
water.
up.
It basically
Deionized water.
Don't drink that.
don't drink it.
Hold
Oh
it.
yeah, don't
Hold
drink
it.
it in front of a circle.
Just hold it with the D and I's. Like,
Yeah.
so it's basically water that has been
Okay.
deionized. Is purified basically. There's
Yeah.
no impurities in
This
it.
is pure H2O.
Yes.
Pure H2O.
And this is what we use for our labs.
Mhm. A lot
Yes.
of
Don't drink it.
Not gonna drink.
Okay. And another one. We always eat in this class, which is not
It's a funny
recommended. It is a lab class, but the buffets. You know how Mr. Rule tied back the
Food.
the buffets that he had in high school. We have those, but in chemistry class. So
Yeah, we have
mini
We had
buffets.
ice cream in here.
We had ice
Oh,
cream
Yeah,
in
we
there.
had ice. A whole
Yeah.
what, like
A whole tub.
of
How
ice.
many, what was the size?
It was like a gallon.
Now can you calculate how many moles?
You
Oh,
should, you should do that.
Yeah,
We
you
have
should
to
calculate
yeah.
the moles in a gallon of ice cream.
How many
moles of
moles?
glucose?
How many moles of H2O are contained in?
There's not even a measuring thing.
Well, do it. In science, anything is possible.
Yes.
Yep.
He can do all of it.
I
Yeah,
can do it
totally.
in my mind.
In
How much?
his mind, how many?
I have chemistry in
How
my
many
mind.
moles are in here?
Huh?
How many moles? So take the grams, divide it by the mole.
No, I'll let you guys do it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'll let the viewers. Wait, I had my nose bleed.
Oh yeah, his nose bled all over the floors. Like
Why?
he left a trail of blood all the way down the hallway.
So it was you?
Um,
So it was you?
yeah. Yeah, that was me.
What was the story?
Huh?
Well, he just had a nosebleed.
You
and-
just decided to have a nosebleed one day and then let it drip all over the floor like a crime scene?
yeah. I just. Yeah, it was like a murder. I got
Happened
killed.
in media center too.
Yeah, it happened in the media center. And I was like sitting with a friend, and they moved tables because there was blood all over the table.
Well, we're recording this in December, so it's pretty cold, right?
Yeah.
And a little biology behind why people get nosebleeds is because the tissues inside your nose, they like get brittler and they're more fragile. So when it's cold, it's a lot easier to get nosebleeds, which is probably why you bled all over the floors. You know?
Yeah.
There's biology behind it too.
That's fine.
Brandon,
That's
didn't you say you have nosebleeds every day?
No,
I think he has really fragile nose tissues.
no, I get beat up.
Okay.
Yeah, oh, totally,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a lot of obs. So basically, there's a lab group with her, our editor, and this unnamed individual, and then me and Sahiru are in another lab group, another table.
We always run over to them when we're finished because we're better than them.
That's not. We'll,
Yeah, you're the one who keeps
We'll take.
Okay, but
That
the
was
first
one
couple
time.
labs
Okay,
we
okay,
did right. We
look,
did
Oh, yeah.
We
perfectly.
take more time because we're like absorbing
you guys read
more
the
knowledge.
instructions.
Yeah, we actually.
We're
read them.
analyzing every detail,
Yes.
every reaction.
Oh, remember the fire lab? We had different types of salts, and each of them, when you put them on a Q-tip with like you dip
Water.
the Q-tip in water,
So it doesn't
and
burn.
then yes, which that unnamed individual did without the water. He almost burned his hand off the. No, he did not. He burnt the Q-tip though.
That's
Anyway, you're supposed to dip it into the salt and then hold it over the Bunsen burner, and then there's
it
colorful
changes color.
flames. Yes.
And why? That's because the electrons are getting excited. They're jumping from
You
their
got me
levels.
jumping
And each
like
one has
What are you doing?
each salt has a different amount of like electrons, right? And when they get excited, it jumps to different levels. What are they called? Sub-levels?
Mr. Rule, what are they called?
What are the levels called?
Energy levels?
Energy levels. They jump through different energy levels. And Brandon, stop shaking your head.
Brandon, you want to
Brandon, what's your
Yeah,
greatest
why
class?
don't you join?
Yeah, why don't you join?
Brandon, what's your greatest class?
Yeah, why are you shaking your head at me? Anyway, they jump through different energy levels, which creates a different frequency of light.
Yeah, wavelength.
Yeah,
Yeah.
different wavelength of light, and this causes them to have different colors, which was one of the labs that we did, which is,
Yeah, that was.
We had a
and we
had a-
mixed all the colors, and we made a little
Yeah,
really
I-
pretty.
rainbow fire.
I mixed all the colors.
So here mixed all the colors.
Yep.
We followed the instructions.
Yeah, because he knows
I
what
was-
he's doing.
Cause I'm just like the better scientist, so I.
You're not.
Scientists,
You're not.
Scientists are about
I'd say
test,
you're-
about being curious. You know,
Oh.
that's all about.
That's why he broke the beaker. I mean, this
I was curious
That's
about
also
how
why
how
he-
much pressure the beaker
Could.
the graduated cylinder
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
withstand. You know.
I think you were also curious about the taste of the bromo.
Yeah, I was curious if I would yeah, if I would wait.
suffer consequences, fatal consequences.
Yeah.
What it would taste
yeah.
like. Yeah, you were curious about that, and you were also curious about what colors what would happen if you mixed all the colors,
All the
right?
salts together.
All of the salts together and
Yeah.
put it over the fire.
That was fun stuff.
It was fun stuff. This class
Yeah,
is
chemistry is about asking questions. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't think I've.
Not following instructions.
No,
yeah,
we
it's
do
it's about breaking the laws of nature. breaking the laws. See, there's so many exceptions in chemistry. That's because people they break the rules. That's why there are exceptions.
a lot of elements break the rules.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying when you're remembering them. But
Yeah,
that's how you
especially.
discover new stuff.
So for the first unit, there's the charges and everything,
I
right?
hate that. Nomenclature, guys. Love to hate
Nomenclature.
it.
So we had to memorize all of the charges, and so some of the transition metals, right?
We're just
Which
like,
ones?
let's be special. Let's be
Guys.
different.
It's aluminum, zinc, and silver,
Yeah,
right?
thinking back there actually makes sense.
Huh?
1, 2, 3. It's 1, 2,
Yeah. Anyway, those are exceptions, and we don't like those because they break the
No.
rules.
We don't like it.
Yeah.
Actually, we love.
Actually, we
We
love
love-
exceptions
oh,
because
now-
they
now
break
we
the
do.
rules.
Yeah,
I feel
Yeah.
like some bipolar.
yeah, we love breaking the rules. The rules.
Rules.
Oh,
the
rules.
No comment.
No comment. Okay.
I don't think he supports breaking the rules stuff.
Oh yeah.
Don't break the rules.
We don't want to
A
break.
rule of thumb: don't break the rules.
Don't break the rules. I think we should start it off with that. Like,
Don't break the rules, guys.
Yeah.
Unless you're ready to suffer the consequences.
Unless you're chemist like.
unless
Oh, yeah,
you're just
I
like
just want to say
Sahiru.
unless you're Sahiru.
Unless
You have the brain chemistry of
Mhm.
Sahiru to think
Yeah.
that you can do everything.
And the amount of brain cells too.
no, chemistry in my blood. You should see
How
my
many brain
reference
cells do you
sheet.
think you have though?
Huh?
How many brain cells do you
Mm.
hypothesize you have?
Let's leave it to the.
How about okay, we're gonna put up a
Open-ended
poll on our
question.
Instagram to see how many to see
How many
How
brain
many-
cells do I have?
how many brain cells does Sahiru have? Yeah.
Yeah, and calculate the
The-
individual atoms in the
Uh-huh.
cells.
We might need to put Avogadro's number in there as one of the options, you know? Yeah.
It looks like melted.
I'm gonna kill you.
Just like what?
What happened?
Like wax.
He tried to trick me into saying that the recording is
Look inside.
Look inside.
It looks like interesting. Looks really interesting.
really interesting.
What does it smell?
He's
I
gonna
would
have
get
such a hard time
I
editing
know.
this.
It's so
It's
funny
fine.
though.
Brandon doesn't sleep at all.
Yeah, you got this.
You got that. You got that.
Cause he when like the time he was studying, Mr. Wu was like awake. I think.
Yeah,
like, he
yeah,
got
yeah.
up.
No,
Like
3 a.m.
Yeah.
It's
Mr.
3:30
Wu
a.m.
by the way, guys.
Yeah, Mr.
Oh,
Ru,
Mr. Wu and
he
Brandon, they
never
don't
sleeps.
sleep.
Yeah,
Sleep.
never.
A lesson for you guys: don't be like Mr. Wu. Get some sleep, please, because I keep telling this guy, his life expectancy is gonna go. It's going down so
It's going
far.
down.
Okay, and
He's
I'm
gonna color
afraid he's
draining
actually
every
gonna
single day.
die. Cause, okay,
Don't teach him chem link.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
that
actually
too.
that's a better.
Don't teach him chem link. Unless you like me and you love chemistry.
yes,
Oh, so
Um,
you're gonna become a teacher.
he's gonna become a chem link teacher. But make sure you get sleep because guess what? 18 days without sleeping, you're gonna die. You're gonna.
No, Mr. Wu is he's just built different.
He's just
yeah.
built
That's
different.
why he's
He
been
gets like
flexible.
1 to 2 hours of sleep every,
No, like
every
0.
single day.
His alarms goes off while he's awake.
Yeah, exactly. He just doesn't sleep at all.
Sometimes we wonder how.
But like his life is hard. He has
Mental
he has
power.
Yes, mental
Mental
power.
He has a child
He-
in him.
Yeah,
Yes.
he has a newborn. He has
Yeah.
another kid. He works at Target. So
Yeah, job by target.
we're not gonna
And-
dox which Target he works at.
yeah,
We're not gonna dox him. But
Sleep, guys. It's very important.
yeah.
Or else you'll be like, you know.
I
just
tell
like,
everybody who doesn't sleep, go sleep.
Yeah, sleep is good.
Sleep is
go
very
sleep,
good.
Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon.
Yeah,
go
Brandon
sleep.
needs to. Our editor needs some sleep.
For real.
Yeah.
But we're giving him like bad content to edit, so I guess that's partially
I guess
on us.
because
Give him
we're
some-
giving him
some-
this content, he's gonna have to pull an all-nighter
Actually,
editing.
Brandon, don't sleep and edit this.
Yes,
Don't
sleep
Don't
after
sleep.
you edit.
Sleep
it.
after.
We believe in you, bro. You got this.
Yeah, you got that. this episode, by the way, is being recorded on a Friday, and it needs to be out by a Monday. So we're giving him the weekend and like 24 hours
No,
to
he's
edit.
gonna be doing this at like 4 a.m. Good job.
Okay. So have you ever been scuba diving with dolphins?
I don't know how this relates to chemistry, but I'll tell you. So dolphins.
They breathe oxygen.
Oh my God, that's
O2.
Oh yeah,
And
guys,
guess
chemistry.
what? Oxygen has a molar mass of 16, but O2 has double the molar mass. So remember when you're
'Cause
doing
it's
molar
two-
We got
calculations,
times 2,
Yes,
guys. Times
when
2.
you're doing molar calculations, you have to do 32.
'Cause
I
oxygen
would know because I
is
got
a
several
diet.
points taken off for that. Okay, so remember not to put 16 for O2. It has to be 32 for the molar mass. All right?
O2 is a diatomic.
Yes.
Oh my God.
All
Learning
diatomics
stuff.
have the same rule.
You
So
know
remember-
one good way
Think-
to remember your diatomics? I think it was like,
Sprinkle.
don't be
No,
scared
that's
of
not-
like high school beer.
No, no,
That was what Mr. McGibbon said. Don't fear high school.
Don't-
beer.
No, don't
Maybe
fear
I say Brinko.
cold beer. No,
I thought it was high school.
What is
no,
Brinko?
no, it's cold beer.
Yeah. Okay,
Wait, Mr. Wu,
What
what
is
is it?
what is
Brinko?
Mr. Gibbon?
The cold beer one.
I don't know.
The L shape.
Never fear
No,
ice
it's
cold
it.
beer.
Ice cold beer.
What are we
Never
doing?
fear
Brinko.
ice cold beer. Hot sprinkle.
Diatomics.
Diatomics.
Yeah, diatomics.
Next episode will be with our AP Gov teacher, Mr. Scruggs.
So
So
talk about Abraham Lincoln.
yes, we will be talking about Abraham Lincoln
Alright.
and AP Gov. So check
Fun
in
stuff.
for that one too. Watch it.
Yeah. Do an outro? What's our outro?
The end. But make sure to go follow our Instagram,
Write a blog.
follow our
Yeah.
Spotify, check out our website,
Write a blog.
write a blog, write a blog.
Right up.
The end. We're
Write a
done.
blog.